How does somebody become lost? I think it's never correct to generalize in a way, because like I initially also said before, you never know where the people are coming from and through what type of circumstances and situations they already went through. So there might be a lot of variables which ultimately lead to the fact why you maybe have been on the path already. But something happened in between, some obstacles showed up that make you stagnate, that make you sometimes lose the path. Coming from the ancient views and the ancient philosophies, especially now talking about Taoism, there is the term the Tao, which is translated as the way. But this way sometimes is not considered of being the way that you are deciding for yourself which one to walk, let's say. It is always the combination, in my opinion, in my view. It is the purpose to, on the one side, discover what is in your field of possibilities, and at the same time, what is your, let's call it, destiny at the same time. That there is something about the outcome of our future, the outcome of our life, dependent on the way how you think, what you think, the way what you talk, how you talk, and what you do and how you do the things. This is something directly related to your actions, to your personality. But at the same time, I have to call them other forces, which are also interfering and which are also having a huge impact upon the outcome of your efforts. So therefore, the whole approach, once again, is to become more aware of yourself. This is the answer of finding out what is it actually that has make you lose the way. Maybe even you never even realized what is the way. And so therefore, the initial point is to take a step back. Especially taking a step back and realizing what is it that you are at the moment surrounded with, that all the time from the morning until the evening is maybe interfering with your own thoughts. It's necessary to really be aware. Are the ideas that you are having about life, are the ideas how you are supposed to develop within this life? Are these ideas really coming from you? Or is it something that you have just grasped from the outside because maybe from the government, from the society, from the advertisements that you are seeing being surrounded with? A lot of people nowadays, I think, are being influenced by that. And the issue here is that you sometimes are just not conscious about it. So in the moment where you're becoming more aware, where you're becoming more conscious about what is actually going on, this is that initial starting point where I would say this opens chances. Because we can only fix a problem, we can only tackle a problem if we know where it is located. And if you are still searching somewhere on the outside to blame someone, or to blame any situation, or to blame any organization, or even to blame the government or whatsoever, as long as you are watching outwards and search for a guilty one without pointing the finger at yourself, in our understanding, in our way of how we see the things, it is the wrong approach. Because feeling lost, meaning you are feeling lost. It is something inside of yourself that you feel is not in the proper state. It's not the people that you are surrounded with that are feeling lost. It is something that is directly linked with your inner being. So if your inner being needs something to be fixed, you need to make it internally. You need to make it inside of yourself. Of course, it can mean that your inside at the moment is still being triggered many times by external circumstances. But that is exactly dependency that we want to get rid of. Because as long as your internal being is so strong connected to external circumstances, you are not going to find the peace, and you will especially not find the proper ways how you are able to find your own path. I think it is a very, very difficult endeavor, let's say, to try and walk through this lifetime only by yourself. It is something extremely helpful to either have close friends, to have a brotherhood, to have a community, to have people that you are surrounding yourself with, where you are feeling that there is something you have in common, or what we also sometimes call where there is resonance between you. And sometimes you meet a person, and if you are aware enough and you start your conversations, you will feel that maybe the way how that person is behaving, the things this person is talking, there is something that is resonating with yourself. And just by taking this word resonating, resonance means there is something getting into the same wavelengths, something getting in the same swing, in the same frequency as what you already are carrying inside. It is similar like, why do people have different tastes when it comes to music? Why are there some beats you like to hear, and they are like music for your ears, but other type of tracks, they are hard for you. They are more like disturbing maybe for you. And at least my theory and my understanding is that because there is something from the past maybe already that you are carrying inside of you, you are starting to remember something. Remember that you maybe heard these sounds before, that you were maybe in contact with these type of frequencies before. And so every time when you feel there is something where you quickly come in resonance, it could mean that you are just starting off to remember a place where you have been before. So you are just starting to continue from that moment on. On the other side, it doesn't mean that if you are witnessing something and you're not in resonance with it, it also doesn't mean that there is no possibility in there. Because everything that is unknown to you, everything that in the moment is disturbing to you, that is in a way a challenge to you, like we mentioned before, these are also chances. But right now, when we are talking about somebody feeling lost, somebody not knowing what is my own path, one way of, let's say, starting a journey is to just start by socializing, start by getting to know different people, talking with the people, and figuring out if there's anything during those conversations where you directly feel that is something I'm resonating with. Because if these ideas at the moment don't come from you, that's not a problem. But then we need at this moment in time, maybe just some additional support from the outside. And all humans are the same. On the one side it's right, on the other side it's not right. All humans are the same and all humans are unique. Somewhere along these humans, there are people you are resonating with. So you are definitely not alone along this path. But to give up and think that you are a lost case, there are no lost cases. Unless you give yourself up, then it is lost. But if you for yourself keep that spark inside of you and just try at least and find someone else that is on the same wavelength, I think that is a chance. That there is something being transmitted and transferred from generation to generation, even if it was not our choice in a way, which goes for biological features that we have, but at the same time also goes for knowledge, spiritual development, energetic development. And so when I talk about a place or something where you're resonating with, resonating means something is getting into the same frequency. So in the moment where I'm in a situation and that situation has a certain frequency and I feel I'm getting in resonance with it, what it means for me is there must be something inside of me that already has memorized these patterns of that movement, let's say. So that means I must have been there before. Something about me must have heard, must have felt that type of situation before. And if this is the case, then I cannot tell you if it was from this life, if it was from another experience, but it's out of question that I must have been there before. Elsewise, it would not suit that example of talking about resonance. It is similar like that word feeling comfortable, or when we now just switch maybe a little bit different topic, but comfort zone and leaving the comfort zone. I think that we are becoming comfortable with all of the things because we have repetitively already spent time with them. The first time you are experiencing the cold, it's uncomfortable. The more you train it, the more you practice it, the more you expose yourself to the cold, I think sooner or later you are getting a little bit more at ease being in the cold. Meanwhile, also to the point where you maybe even feel comfortable outside in the cold. The same is like you're not feeling comfortable speaking in front of an audience, in front of a crowd. You practice it. Oftentimes you repeat this same pattern, and then sooner or later that stage fever maybe disappears, and at the same time you're becoming more comfortable. So comfort is very often related to the fact you have already experienced, you have already went through a certain amount of times. This is why you are feeling comfortable in that situation. Vice versa. What does it now mean if something is making you uncomfortable? You are feeling uncomfortable, or you are facing the fact of being uncomfortable. That just means you are reaching a borderline. You are reaching a limit that you until now have not yet crossed often enough. Why do I think it is necessary to cross the lines, to cross your own limits and lines from time to time? Because elsewise you will be stuck in your own limited view of what you have experienced already. If you are living a comfortable life, it only means you are continuously staying inside a field of what you know already, either from this life, or you just have not proceeded yet from, let's say, past generations. So every time you are crossing that line, every time you are expanding that border, you are expanding that limit, for me this means there is some growth, there is some new discovery. Because what you are doing is you are bringing light into a space that before that time was a space of uncertainty. It's uncomfortable because you don't know the outcome of what is going to happen if you cross that line. That's why it's uncertain. That's why people are afraid of uncertainty. But there is only one way to find out and make uncertainty become knowledge. And that one is through experiencing it. After you do it, then you know. People ask me in the type of trainings, yeah, so for what should I now stand half an hour in that position? What is it good for? Why should I breathe like this? Why should I breathe like that? Why is the finger positions like this? Why is it like this? Why are there so many different things? You just can't explain it by words. Somewhere these words are hitting a barrier. And that barrier can only be broken in the moment where the knowledge, the intellectual knowledge, starts to transform into action, and that action is going to bring you the answer. And this answer is what in our tradition we really refer as, that is knowledge now. Or sometimes we call it wisdom. It is that type of knowledge that came because of your own discoveries. That is the real knowledge. The knowledge about that your teacher, a friend, somebody is telling you that you know up here. That's like the intellectual knowledge, the pre-knowledge, the type of knowledge that now, first of all, needs to transform into action. Action transforms into experience. And experience gives you what you need in order to move on. It is a method that we call once you feel that spark or that small fire now needs to be nourished. Nourished in order for it to grow. If you are self-questioning yourself too often, if you are filled with too much doubt all the time, that is definitely one of these hindrances that is going to diminish that fire again. Once the fire is going, the fire is going. So stop investing your thoughts. Stop rethinking about why it would not work. Don't stop the fire before it even started really growing. You need to get out of that self-questioning. You need to learn to sometimes really have confidence in the power of your thoughts. once it's in the mind already. Everything can become possible if you find the way to translate what is in the mind into action, because this transformation makes things come to earth. Everything we have available nowadays on this earth started somewhere here by someone. It started here and then it ended here, meaning there were some actions merged together with what was on the mind to bring it here, visible for others and also visible for yourself in front of you, not just inside of you.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video, please support us at MulliganBrothers.com, where the Not a Journal is back in stock. Use code JOURNAL at checkout for 10% off.